as you can see in the tabs, you're gonna start playing on your first string, okay? So the first string is the skinniest one at the bottom. You're gonna play it open because there's a 0 there. That means you're playing it open, no left hand. You're gonna continue playing with the first string, but now you're gonna play in the first fret. You're gonna place your first finger on that first fret after you play the string open, press down in the correct spot, and play the first string with your right hand. Make sure your right hand is playing your first string. Sometimes it's easy to accidentally play the second string, so just make sure that your right hand is in the right place too. This is when we have to look at both hands, and that's why the picking exercises that we played earlier are great, because eventually, you know, not now, but eventually you won't have to look at your right hand anymore. But we're kind of practicing that in this exercise as well. So make sure you put your first finger in the first fret, and then the 2, you're placing your second finger in the second fret. And then the third finger in the third fret. That's what that means. So you see the 0, 1, and 2, and 3 on the first string. That means you're playing the first string, playing the string open, first fret, second fret, third fret. You could play it that way where you pick up each finger as you go, or you can play it open first, keep your finger there, second fret, third fret, and keep the fingers on as you go and clamp them down. You could practice it both ways. So it's your choice. Next, after that, if you notice on the tabs, the next thing you do is you start playing the second string. You play the second string open, first fret, second fret, third fret. Same exact thing. And then you go to the third string. And really, when you're practicing this, you're playing these all in a row evenly, all in a row. So first string, second string, third string, you know, and so on. This is almost exactly the same as the first one, the first warm-up we did, but now we're adding our fourth finger. So we're starting on our first string just like the last one, playing our first string open, as you can tell from the tabs if you downloaded it and printed it out. But as you can see, we're starting on the first string with our open note, so no left hand whatsoever. Then the first fret, first finger, first string, just like the last one. Second fret, second finger, first string, and third fret, third finger, and now our fourth fret with the fourth finger. The pinky is going to be the most challenging one for most of us, so make sure that you're getting the note out clearly. It's easy to get a buzzing sound or a muted sound, so make sure you're pressing hard enough with that one. Sometimes I notice some of my students trying to use another finger to help the pinky press down, but that's not going to do your pinky any service in the future for when it does have to do things on its own. So make sure that that pinky it's the only one pressing down that string to get it out. You can also do it the way that I showed you before. You can take off each finger as you go, like I just did, or you can hold them down as you go. It's a little bit more challenging. You could pick whatever way you want to do it. You might want to move your thumb over though to do that, to have it be more efficient, and make sure it's not just sticking way over here. Make sure your thumb is adjusting as you go for that. And then you do that same thing on every single string. And whatever way you start, finish it that way, and finish all the way up to the sixth string. Make sure you're getting every single note out. Don't worry about timing at first. Make sure every single note is coming out clearly. You're not hearing any muted sounds. You're not hearing any like buzzing sounds or weird sounds like that. Make sure they're coming out all beautifully and clearly. And then you can focus on them being in time. So starting out slowly, you don't even have to use a metronome, just kind of have them be very even if you want to, or you can use a metronome and then start off really slow, even slower than this. I'm going a little fast, and then try to stay in time that way and make sure everything's even all the way up the fretboard to the 6th string. So this one is a little different from the others because we're gonna be doing down, up picking with our right hand, which goes right along with this whole module on different strumming patterns and all that. So let's get into it and give our right hand a little bit more of a challenge. So first I'm going to show you the left hand, and then I will show you what the right hand will be doing along with the left hand. So as you can tell from the tabs, this one we're starting on the 5th fret. So we're going to use all 4 fingers in this, and you notice how it says you're starting on the 1st string in the 5th fret and then going 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. So we're going to assign our fingers a fret, just like the other ones, but it's a little bit different because now our finger numbers aren't matching the fret numbers. Before we did, first finger, 1st fret, second finger, 2nd fret, but now we're in the 5th fret. So the 1st finger is going to take care of the 5th fret, the 2nd finger is going to do the 6th fret, 3rd finger is going to do the 7th fret, and the 4th finger is going to do the 8th fret, just right in a row like that. Okay, for these, it's the exact same concept though. You're just going 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th on each string, and with no open note. So the other warm-ups we've done, we did the open string, no fingers, and then put a finger down to play. This one we're going right to the 5th fret. Now, how do you find the 5th fret without having to count up each fret? Well, if your guitar has these markers on it, it'll be on the fretboard and then also on the side. Then for me, my 2nd dot is the 5th fret. Some guitars, your 1st dot is the 5th fret. So be familiar with your guitar and what each dot represents so that when you go to do this warm-up, you don't have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You just go, oh, wait, that's my 2nd dot, or whatever it is on your guitar. If you don't have the markers on your guitar, that's totally fine. I mean, you don't necessarily need them. You can get used to playing this without them. Or what I've had some students do is they put a little, I know it's kind of, I don't know, not the most fancy thing in the whole world, but you could put white out as your dots on your guitar, so if you want to do that. So this becomes handy though, knowing this becomes handy even more when we get into scales, soloing, all of that. So all of this kind of is building into that. All right, so we know what the left hand is doing. Let's look at the right hand. All right, so right hand, before we were just going down, 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 down on every string. Well, now we're going to go down, up, down, up. So when you're playing in the 5th fret, down, and then the next note is up, down, up. Go to the 2nd string, starting with down, up, down, up. 5th fret, 6th fret, 7th fret, 8th fret, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. Down, up, all the way. Make sure you start very slow because this is, it's just kind of like, wait, I'm trying to pat my head and rub my tummy, and so you want to start really, really slow, slower than what I just showed you, just going, okay, 5th fret, 1st finger, got it, down, then the next one, up, down, up. If you feel like you've really got it right away, then you don't need to go that slow, that's fine. But I think it's still really good, like especially if you're making mistakes, to start slow. I always say start slow. And then you can speed it up all you want, especially because you want to make sure you're doing it right. Sometimes when we jump into doing things fast, we don't even realize that we might be doing something wrong. So it's good just to start slow, just to make sure you're doing it right, and then you can speed it up all you want, as long as you're not messing up left and right. Because if you are, then you should slow it down again. So let me show you this with my whole guitar, so you can see the left and the right hand doing it at the same time. So like we've done before, you can when you press on the strings, you can keep your fingers on as you go, like I just did, or lift your fingers up as you go, or practice both, because both are good to practice.